going on, everybody? This is your boy Mike Hennessy. Joining me with the Bag Show, powered by Metro. Um, I'm here today. Sorry, Nick and Greg cannot be here today. They are both dealing with things at home. Nick, Greg, especially you, get well soon. Nick, just take care of everything you need to take care of, brother. We here for you. We got you. Like I said, once again, I'm your host, Mike Hennessy, and I am here with the Back Show. And joining me today, we have a community director from Metro. She's going to tell us about everything women in gaming because this is International Women's Month. So, hello, beautiful. How are you?
Hi there. Actually, it's Women's History Month,
Women history, yes,
and
yes.
today is International Women's History Day.
Okay.
Well, no, sorry, International Women's Day. Got me messing up my own day. So, yes.
Yes, so we're in the month of women history. That intro always, when I look at the intro, that's where I see all the games that I have played or some things I have seen in other gaming, and it's just like, yeah, it's a lot of women that are big time in the gaming world. So, you know,
Yeah. As of 2021, 45% of gamers, like active gamers, are women.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as things with gaming with you, what is one of
hmm
the games? I guess if you started off, what has inspired you in gaming? If you can pick a woman character in gaming yourself, what character did it for you that kind of was like, oh, I like this. I like
Mm.
this a lot.
Well, if I think about my early years in gaming, because I don't think that it was like a woman or female character that really got me going when it came to gaming. Um, I think it was later down the line. But I feel like my first time where I felt truly connected to like a female character was, and don't chew me out, guys. I was young when this game came out,
Don't
was
matter.
Final Fantasy X-2,
Ah, okay,
and playing with Yuna and just kind of
okay.
having all those outfit changes. And like, I was new to the Final Fantasy world. That was my first Final Fantasy game ever.
hmm
Why I got it was because I loved Kingdom Hearts, and I knew that Square Enix and Final
Mm,
Fantasy and all the
nice.
all the things. And speaking of Tetsuya Nomura, who's like the character designer, well,
Yeah.
yeah, so I wanted to touch everything that he had a part of, basically. So
hmm
10-2 had just came out, and I was like, oh, I have to get this game. I don't know anything about it. Um, and at the time, you could look on the internet and learn about games, and people were saying that like 10-2 was like a continuation, or it was this, or it would be easy. So I'm like, oh, this is like a perfect start for me. Um,
Right.
and so I think Yuna, like, just kind of her personality and the fact that I could change my clothes, like, and stuff like that, made me really like her and connect with a woman character for the first time.
Right, got you. All right, so one thing I do know about 10-2, what's
Yeah.
weird is that me being 36 years old, I've played a bunch of Final Fantasy games, or at least
Mhm.
watched it be played.
Mhm.
And with my brother, I seen a lot of women through the games that I play with Final Fantasy. What's
Mhm.
interesting is that whenever I heard women talk about a particular Final Fantasy, it's never really the older ones. They remember the heiresses and the
Yeah.
those that got the heiresses and the Tifas and
Antifa,
yeah,
yeah.
they remember a lot of them. But for
Yes.
the most part, 10-2 is the one of the biggest reasons why women play the video games, the Final Fantasy series overall, because of 10-2. Like, and that's so decent that did that, because I never was into
Hmm.
10, even though that changed
Yeah.
the game. 10
But I do
changed
feel
it.
like a lot of
Uh-huh.
women love 10, but I
hmm
think why a lot of us was excited for 10-2 was because it was going to focus on Yuna and, oh my gosh,
hmm
what are the other two? That's so crazy because there was a point in my life where, like, oh, and Yuki, was it Yuki? Look, you guys, if you're watching, remind us of the main three characters in Final Fantasy
Yuki.
10-2.
I think I remember that name. It's
Yeah.
been so I haven't I've
Yeah,
watched 10-2 be played. Go ahead.
I am just not, like, I was so young when it came out.
hmm
Beyond that, I just wasn't really into Final Fantasy anymore,
hmm
as far as like a game, but I always loved the look of it. I loved connecting with cosplayers who cosplay from Final Fantasy. But yeah, I think
Gotcha.
why women took on that game is
Yeah.
because they were featuring like three women who were kicking ass and taking names. So yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's
Oh,
the
sorry. It's Yuna, Riku, and Pain. Duh.
pain.
Yeah, Pain.
Who's pain?
Pain, so she's really like the badass. Like I feel like Yuna, she kind of reminds me of like a traditional Final Fantasy character.
Okay.
Riku was more playful. She I feel like if you would now, you would call her more of like a hippie or like bohemian looking in a way. She just
Nice.
had a lot of like wrapped fabric and like accessories hanging off of her. And Pain was like that leather wearing, gun sword wielding, dark hair,
Right.
with the slick bang.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah.
Got
I
you.
like, how could I forget their names? Of course.
Listen, it's that game came out a very long time ago, so it's
Yeah.
understandable, like, why some things can be forgotten about that.
Almost 20
So
years ago. It came out
yes.
in 2003. So, wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
I still was in high school. But
I wasn't even in high school yet.
listen, don't tell our ages. Don't make me feel bad. But anyway, so before I have a question to ask you as far as your experiences with games itself. But
Hmm.
let's do this real quick. There's many women that were in gaming, and
Hmm.
for the most part, one of the first two that I can remember is Princess Daisy
Okay.
because she was in another castle all the time,
Okay.
and we also have Chung Li.
Okay.
So a lot of respect to Chung Li because she was one of the people that was holding it down in the fighting game universe. My mom,
Chun Li.
listen, my
Yes.
mom, it was
Your
some
mom.
games used to. My mom used to beat me down with Chung Li. When she learned how to just keep pressing A, I was like, oh crap! Like,
Yo.
and you're just sitting there like you can't come in because it's like jump rope. You just can't come in.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're going to get kicked. So, and chances are it's going to hurt really bad. So, a Chung Li and
You
Daisy is,
know, you
huh?
know Chun Li makes waves when Nicki Minaj has a song after her. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so don't get us
Yes,
wrong. Chicky. Nicki is like the Harajuku Barbie. She came
uh-huh.
out saying it's Nicki Minaj, it's Nicki Lewinsky, and saying like she was the Harajuku Barbie.
Right,
So
right,
she knows a little bit of something, something. But
right.
when it's been like couple decades and rappers are out here talking about Chun Li. So you
It's been
had to have made
decades.
waves
Yes,
as a character.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Street Fighter is definitely heading more closer to the 30+ year mark. So, shouts out to Chung Li for being around and still
For
being a
being
big
around that
inspiration.
long.
And I don't hear. And you know what's one of the funniest things? People don't talk negative about Chung Li. They just
No, they
don't.
don't.
They
No.
just don't.
I wish we
Daigo,
had like a picture of her.
I know that'd be
Everyone
fire.
knows. Everyone knows what Chun Li looks like, though. It's okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
The dynamic buns,
Ooh, yes.
the legs,
Uh huh.
the muscles.
Yes.
Think
The
about like
fine.
how I think about how strong you must be to move your legs so swiftly
Uh
with
huh.
them being like that strong and heavy.
Yes. And just kicking people. It didn't matter who you was. You was getting
Yeah.
kicked. You was getting kicked. You was getting kicked.
Yeah.
So, um, with that being said, I would love to know more about you and your
Hmm.
experience in your life with gaming, or just generally just tell us about yourself. Like, what should we
Yes.
know about Miss Sadiqa Jones
I'm
and
sorry.
what
I
you
keep
do as
on
a
doing
community
this, guys.
director?
I'm so sorry.
It's all good. The sun
Yeah.
is in your
The
eyes.
sun is shining. Look,
Let
natural
it
light,
shine. Let it
natural
shine.
light.
So,
Okay. So about me, I
yeah.
feel like I don't know why people don't think that I game. I think it's because as I got older, like I became
Mhm,
an adult and got a little busy, right?
mhm,
But gaming was my first love. Like for me, that was my first escape as a child. Not that I needed to escape. I had a pretty good childhood, but I was a child that was like always in her imagination. I
mhm.
had lots of toys. I was an only child. So when I wasn't with cousins or friends and I had alone time, I was alone with me,
Right.
outside of spending time with my mom. I would have imaginary friends and toys and stuff like that. So when I found video games, which was the Game Boy, um, at
The
like
Game Boy.
I found a Game Boy like
Uh-huh.
in the bathroom at my because my parents weren't together, so I would go to my dad's house and there was a Game Boy in his house. So I
Mhm,
picked it up and started playing it, and I would like take the batteries out his TV remote and
mhm.
like put it in the Game Boy. And he was like, "Where
Mhm.
did my batteries go?"
Woo!
and
And batteries used to be expensive at that time, so it was like taking batteries from somebody
it
was
was
like
it was
taking money.
definitely Duracell, like it wasn't the dollar store batteries.
Right.
So I was playing Dr. Mario all the time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
So that was like really my first kind of game that I started playing by myself. And so all of my cousins had video games and I like remember I remember like watching my cousins playing Sonic and playing
Ah.
Dead or Alive. Growing up, Dead or Alive was my favorite fighting game. Like
Mm.
it was it was my first like time I remember coming in contact with the Japanese language and knowing that it
Mhm.
was Japanese and
Yeah.
like trying to emulate the characters and talking like them and
Mhm.
moving like them. I love the story of Dead or Alive. Like I just really fell for that. So I think like fighting games became my first console on the TV. Like I love to play that. But then I also was like a handheld girl. So once my mom realized, oh, she likes Game Boy, I'm gonna get her that. And of course I had Pokemon all the time. And I was obsessed with Pokemon. And I would play a lot of like niche games. Like I would play like all the Disney releases, Beauty and the Beast, Tailspin,
Nice.
Tailspin. Tailspin was one of the best handheld like games because it
I've
was
never
like
played Tailspin before.
when I tell you it was like playing a Sonic game mixed with like Spider-Man. So if you remember playing Spider-Man on Game Boy Advance, you would go throughout
Okay.
the city and you would go on these missions and you would try to find pictures and there were things you had to find and you would fight bosses and stuff like that. But
Right, right.
then obviously with Sonic, like you know how Sonic goes. I feel like Tailspin was like those two things in one. On your Game Boy though.
Okay.
So that was really what I play a lot of. And so if I ever would get in trouble, which I was a good kid, so I didn't get in trouble a lot, but my punishment would be to take away my Game Boy. Because
Ooh.
that's the only way you could hurt me. Like
Yeah. There's ways you can hurt a kid in games in the 90s. The ultimate way to hurt me. I literally be sitting there. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Like, because I wanted to play NBA Jam. I wanted to play like these Street Fighters and all them and
yeah.
Contra and stuff like that. So I'm with you 100% with that one. So
And see,
I
that's the
continue. Continue.
thing. Like I could like from the games you play, you can kind of tell or guess what kind of kid someone was. So I
Mhm.
didn't get to play other games with kids because I was an only child. So it wasn't until I go over my cousin's house that I can play games with other people. So most of the time I'm playing like solo games.
Mhm.
And I haven't let that go yet. Like I love playing co-ops and stuff, but most of the time if I
Yeah.
game, I'm gaming by myself. I'm not telling anybody that I'm playing. I'm
Mhm.
playing it for my own alone
Leisure. Yep.
enjoyment. Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
no, I definitely understand that. Listen, I've played games with you before, just playing Halo, and I could tell you're a solo person. Yeah, there's times
Oh
where I'm
no,
like, hey, where are you at?
do not
I am
believe
fighting
him,
somebody.
guys. Don't believe him.
I
I
have
am
I have
the
footage.
I'm the best team player when it comes to these shooters. I'm when I tell you guys, we started around a Halo and I run over, I get on like the Warthog and I'm waiting for a
Uh-huh.
teammate. Everyone runs past me. No one, no, I'm like, hey, where are you guys? Where can I come help shoot with you guys? And they just Leroy Jenkins their way through every single round. So
It's like, hey, we got a game plan. All right, cool. Leroy Jenkins, like, all right,
that's
we don't
what
have
they
to do
do.
that. Okay, they did
That's
it.
what
So
they do. Me, I'm like, okay, guys, let's run together. Let's not, if we're going to get killed, let's all get shot up together and not all
right,
alone
right.
one by one. No, I am the team player, y'all.
Got you, got you. Okay, so real quick, want to throw this in there. So, being a part of course, the community director at Metro Esports, what is your mission as far as education? Like, what are your mission? Who you're targeting?
Mhm.
Give us more details on that.
Yeah, so when people think about esports, I don't think that they think of education.
Right.
Not
Hmm.
even just education in sense of traditional learning, but esports education. So
Right.
with Metro, we have a mission to, I would say, educate youth, but
Right.
everyone really. But a lot of our programs focus on youth, so it could be younger kids, teenagers, and so forth. Not only on esports, how to play, um, kind of like tournament etiquette, and
Right.
just kind of building their skill and confidence in playing and learning about the esports industry as players and content creators. Because we know a lot of young kids love to create content, they love being online, they love
Right.
playing games. So we kind of show them like how you can do that and how to improve with games. But our main purpose with
Right.
education is tech education. So coding, we offer animation, and so much more. So if your child or teen, or even sometimes I know we have hosted adult programming as well. But
Yeah.
if you're a
Hmm.
teen or a child and we know that technology in a sense of coding and computer software, computer programming is such a huge part of the job force and
Hmm.
what's needed. So we want to prepare kids to do that. And they're already doing it in a fun way. Look at Roblox.
Right.
Kids are like coding on there. They're building their own games, and they're creating these like spaces on the internet where they can socialize.
Hmm.
So if we can like empower kids with the knowledge of doing that and it in like a technical way and becoming really good at it, of course we would. The mission attached to that is making sure that children of all backgrounds have access to it.
Of
So
course.
we're in Bucks County. Well, our main hub right now is in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. If you look up Bucks County, you can see what demographic that is. We're doing leagues and we have educational programming for teens and kids in Bucks County, but we're also providing that to kids from Philadelphia County, which is a much more diverse, not
Right.
only in race, but income. So they're not, lower income does not always have access to the same education as those with higher income. So we're offering that to everyone, and that's our mission to make sure everyone has access to that education.
Of course. I love that. And I think that, this is what makes the situation special. This is what makes that particularly special when it comes to esports and gaming, because a lot of people don't have understanding of it. I learned younger in about esports, especially watching competitions like the Evos of the world, and Comic Cons and all the cons that they used to have, and they would host events and stuff there.
Hmm.
Um, so if like how when it comes to this, like how do they interact with the community, especially with y'all's community?
And how would you say, how do we as Metro interact with our
How do y'all
community?
as Metro interact with the
Okay.
community? Yeah.
I think that we have a very hybrid approach, right?
Yes.
We really do try to produce a lot of things online, and as our business grows, so does our footprint online.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of organic and in person, or kind of these virtual, like exclusive areas online where we interact with our community. So
Yeah.
people can come in and see us and actually play in our facilities, but we go out as well. So, like, we're in the YMCA, we have programming in YMCA. We actually have a little metro being built out in Doylestown. So, a YMCA is building a metro facility right into their YMCA Doylestown. So we're already there doing like camps for the kids and programming, but it'll be for everyone to kind of come in and get a taste of esports and gaming through YMCA. So we interact with our community a lot in person
Hmm.
by offering spaces for you to come and chill, but you can talk to us online. Like if you watch any of our broadcasts, you can probably join our Discord and talk to us that way. So I
Right.
feel like we reach our community like widespread, and we want to be as personable as possible while
Yes.
still feeling exclusive, because esports is exclusive. Everyone doesn't compete and everyone doesn't really know how to get into this industry. Um, so we feel like both. How do you get in here? You just talk to us. And
Nice.
then
Yeah, just talk to you. That's the golden ticket to everything. Make
yeah.
sure you get the knowledge that you need to know. So, real quick, is there anything you want the people that's watching to know
Well, about me or about Metro?
about both? Just real quick.
Well, I feel like for me, what I would want someone to know, and hopefully it inspires them, that if you're someone who is looking for a career where you can be creative and you can explore your hobbies or interests, I think esports could be a good niche industry for you. Um, Before coming to Metro, some people that I know would never think I would work for an esports agency. But for me, it seems natural because I love to game. Even before working at Metro, I know a lot about games, and when I don't play games, I'm still in it. I know a lot about
Mhm.
the industry, the gaming
Yeah.
industry, and the esports industry before working here. So, but I have other interests that go well with, esports
Uh-huh.
and with gaming. Like I like to cosplay. And a lot of gamers watch anime. I watch anime a lot. And there's just this nerdy subculture where we kind of understand each other. So when you work in esports, you're more than likely working with another peer
Yeah.
versus if you work, say, in like medical or finance, which are necessary and great industries, the next nurse or the next accountant may not have anything in common with you.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
when I work in esports, I know that my coworker most likely has something in common with me on a personal level that has to do with my hobbies.
Okay.
So that's a little something about me.
Mhm.
Something about Metro, I would say what I would want you guys to know is that one, that we're black owned, but
There
we're
we go.
esports for everybody. And I
Yeah.
think that's so important because when it's a black owned space, sometimes people may think, well, if it's black owned, it's black exclusive. But that's what the beauty of, I think, the black
Never.
community is that we understand inclusion
Mhm.
because while sometimes in spaces we want exclusivity so we can be safe to express our blackness. But I
Mhm.
really think a lot of black owned organizations are some of the most inclusive spaces because we know what it feels like to not be included.
Yes, that's biggest thing. Biggest thing overall, and especially for people that, from Metro and on a side of us as Bag, we definitely understand that. That's one. So very, we're very black owned here, but that does not mean that we just want black only because we want everybody. That's the point. The black owned is just the title. It's just the title and it's the respect of the prospective brand. So
Yeah,
um
it's that
mhm,
self-respect of like
yes.
creating equity in space in like this entrepreneur landscape. We need to have more black owned, minority owned. I wouldn't
Yes.
even say minority, POC owned, and
Yes.
whatever is marginalized owned companies so we can begin to create safe spaces for
Mhm.
everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Well, everyone stay tuned. Just keep on watching. We will be right back after these.
We got
Excited to
commercials.
announce a new league is coming to Gears of War. Introducing.
Esto se puede complicar aún más. Están peleando lo último. Damas y caballeros.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week number 1 of the Metro Esports Gears of War Women's League. I'm Blaze, joined with the
What's going on, everybody? We back again. I have my guy Ethan. Ethan, thank you for joining us, bro. This is
Of
this is a
course.
pleasant
Of
surprise
course.
right here. This guy is very, very knowledgeable of everything. Let's put it
Hi,
like that.
Ethan. Nice
But
to
How you
virtually
doing? How you
meet
doing?
you.
yes,
Very
this is
nice to meet you.
Ethan. Yes. So Ethan joining us today. Let him just a little bit. Let everybody know about yourself, what you got going on, what's everything. So.
Sure, of course. I am a hardcore blurred. And I am probably about, I don't know, 10, 15 years older than all of y'all combined. Uh, I love all things comic books. I'm a comic book creator
Nice.
and consultant. I work
Mhm.
actually with many people at Bag and Bay to making comic books for them
Yes.
themselves and developing them. I
Love
Yes.
it.
also am a hardcore anime fan and manga fan. And
Woo!
recently I've gotten into webtoons. And of course I'm a
Yes.
yeah, just recently. And I'm a big video game enthusiast as well.
Yes.
I of course heard the conversation on Chun Li. She was my first like a crush probably started some
Right.
video games.
She
Yeah.
was so cute, the little blue that she used to wear that you could change it to pink, and then, like, it was so decent.
It's
Yeah.
the thing is because of her and because of Wonder Woman, I have like a thing for like brunettes that can beat me down. So So yeah,
Nice.
so and of course Laura Croft. Laura Croft is
Yes.
great as well.
Okay, nice. So everyone that's watching, this is Ethan. Make sure that you guys just join the Then and Now podcast. Check them out. They're definitely, it's
Please,
something
please.
fun. They do game review, they do movie review, they do anime review, they do it all. So I need to talk to y'all about Batman, but kind of we'll get to that.
You
We'll get
do.
to that.
Actually, I've been
Yeah, I
trying
need
to
to have
hunt
a
you
talk.
down to talk about this, Mike.
Yes,
I know
we're
you're
gonna
twice
talk
as
about
big
Batman.
as me, but we have to
We're gonna
talk
talk.
about it.
We're gonna talk about Batman. But anyway, so the topics now is we have games developed by women themselves, which is a beautiful thing. There's a lot of games on this list that I didn't even know were produced by women. So
Yes.
Centipede is one of
Yeah.
the classics right there. That is a
Yes.
classic, and I
Yeah.
did not know Centipede was a part of it.
Yeah. Centipede was developed, and I'm going to be checking out my notes because I took some notes on these games here, and I want to make sure that since we are shouting out that these are women developed games, we definitely shout out the developers themselves.
Hmm.
So Centipede way back in 1980s, y'all, okay? Developed by Donna Bailey.
Oh,
And
nice. Okay.
and like Centipede is known for what? The Atari. Like
The
that's
Atari, one
so
of the biggest systems of all time, even though in my eyes it looked horrible. But I can't say that, I can't say that too loud. Don't say that too
Y'all
loud.
are so young. Y'all are so young. I mean, I actually was alive when this was in arcades. I remember playing in
Yeah.
arcades.
And
Woo!
that's the thing, like back then, especially in the 80s, when you in the game industry, like
Mhm.
women were not recognized for
Yeah.
whatever reason, but they were not recognized or would even have the chance to become famous for developing their game. It's like, up, she developed it. If the game became famous, great. But, Donna, she didn't really get her due, I would feel like back in the day. Now
Right.
we're able to kind of say her name, but back then she just wasn't getting that clout that she deserved.
No,
Exactly.
no,
Okay.
she definitely didn't. I mean, and obviously I would say it's still kind of prevailing now too, where it's oftentimes a woman or women will do amazing feats, and some random dude will find a way to take credit for it. So I'm not
Hmm.
too
Yeah,
surprised. I'm
that
not
you
happy, but
probably
I'm not surprised.
you probably
Yeah.
didn't necessarily need the credit, but you took it, so
Yeah,
you didn't need it. But yes, so Centipede is one of the games that my family knows very, very, very well because I heard about it a lot when I was a kid. Like, oh, y'all didn't have the Atari. I forgot the series of it was, but you know, those games were monumental to my family. My mothers, my uncles, and other family members that's in my family. Like that kind of transitioned us into Nintendo. And which was my first system as a kid. I remember
Yeah.
playing Mario 1 and losing immediately. So because I had no clue how to play it. So, but yeah,
yeah,
that's I love that. So,
yeah. It was fun. This back with this game with Centipede and Asteroid. And these type of games are on
Asteroid
the
Shop,
Atari. I have an
Pitfall.
older sister, and she
Mhm,
used to love to. This is all about having the score. Whoever had the higher score had bragging
mhm.
rights, and she used to love beating me down, and having a higher score against me. And I think still to this day, she has a higher score in Centipede than I do in our Atari.
Hey, you might want to
Look at
revamp
that.
that. Like, hey, look, sis, we ain't too old to get one of them Atari sticks. Like,
No, no.
all right. So next we have Portal 2007. I
Yeah.
like
And of
that.
course, like
So
it's not called Portal
of
2007,
course,
but
2020.
it's the Portal that's released in 2007. I think we all know, whether you have played Portal or not, you've
Yeah.
heard of Portal. Like
Yes,
Yes.
it's a classic game.
Portal's definitely one of the
Yeah.
one of the you know.
And it's not even like, well, this one isn't even 20 years old yet.
No.
And I feel like it has such a cult following that makes it feel older.
Hmm.
So,
Mhm.
I
and
think it's
Yeah.
that
just
was
Portal overall. So
yeah,
Yeah.
and that was designed by Kim Swift. Now, I want to
okay.
mention some of the other games that Swift worked on. And so y'all will know this. Left 4 Dead,
Oh, I
Ooh,
didn't know. Okay.
I
Half-Life
love it.
2,
Yep.
Oh,
Half-Life
Yep.
2, yeah, and Star Wars Battlefront 2. So she worked on obviously other games, and they're like, let's like not get it wrong. There's an entire team that develops these games, but a lot
mhm,
of times if it's like women developed, they're either like the lead designer or the lead developer on the game, so they're really driving everything,
right,
or like it's their idea and so forth. But
right.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
love to know that Kim went on to do some of these titles that like we also love, especially like Left 4 Dead and
Mhm.
Half-Life 2. So yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And because this is the orange box, right? Some of these games I know Portal and Half-Life, they were part of the orange box, wasn't that right? By
I would
Valve.
have to
That
do
thing back in the day. Oh,
Yeah.
let me see.
I believe they were. So it's yeah, and they were almost kind of seen as like kind of indie-ish games in a way. There were
Mhm.
smaller teams that made them, and they
Yeah.
were kind of groundbreaking and revolutionary what they were able to do. Portal, I played Portal 2 first, and I loved it. And I didn't realize till I beat the game essentially. Like they put a Metroid on me. I didn't realize that the main character, because it's POV the entire time. I didn't
Mhm.
realize that it was actually a woman that you're playing doing it the whole time.
Yeah. Yep.
So
And that's
Well, it makes sense for that
crazy.
to be that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. More people know about or at least experience Portal 2
Mhm.
more than well, at least from what I know, people talk more about Portal 2 in the sense of they've played it,
Mhm.
but still revere Portal.
yeah,
Right.
So
That's the one I
Portal's a little
remember the most
harder
is
actually.
Portal.
It's a little more
So
challenging. Yeah.
got you. Okay. All right. So then we have the Uncharted series. That's what's up. I love the Uncharted series. I've played two. Played that fully through because that was back when I touched a PlayStation at one point. So I'm not a not fan of PlayStation. I've had PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4. I have it them all. Just
nice.
five, just not five. Um so the Uncharted series is definitely one of my favorite single player series. So,
Yeah.
have at it, guys.
Yeah, Uncharted, even though it's something I've never played, but because honestly, when I played PlayStation, I was playing very select games. And then after that, I was more so on Xbox. So, like PS exclusive games, I didn't always take participation in because I knew I wasn't going to always have a PlayStation.
Right.
But Uncharted was actually created by Amy Hennig.
Mhm.
Um, and Amy is actually like she's definitely one of the female like or women kind of video game professionals that paved the way because she's been in the industry like since the 80s. And
Yeah.
some of the titles that she's worked on is Legacy of Kain, Jack and Daxter, which is a game
Oh,
I played extensively.
nice.
So, and of course the Uncharted series. So she created it and it was obviously developed by a team at Naughty Dog. But I give it up to Amy because I know Uncharted, the series, is like beloved and has its own cult following as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's Amy Henning is that's kind of like she's probably regarded in lots of ways, lots of circles as like the Spielberg of video games too. I mean, what she
Okay.
did before she even got to Uncharted, like you mentioned, the Jack and Daxter, what she did with Naughty Dog, taking it from Crash Bandicoot, which wasn't bad, but making it
Yeah.
kind of a household name with the Uncharted series, which she spearheaded, is incredible. It's incredible. So
When you
Nice.
yeah,
think about Jack and Dexter and you look at how, and I love Jack and Dexter, like I really do. That's where when I was talking about, I was one of those kids who was more in their imagination. And I play a lot of games that was where the characters were not humans.
right,
Mm.
So
right,
I couldn't even really connect with human like or women characters. I was always playing some creature or whatever or
yeah,
like, Mario and stuff like that. But I'm like, besides Princess Peach, I didn't really connect with any other women. But when you look at Jack and Daxter and then you look at Uncharted, not that they're both beautiful games, but it's just like,
They're two separate type of games.
yeah, exactly. And
yeah,
I
Yeah.
love to see
That
someone have
diversity.
diversity. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
exactly.
They're
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's amazing.
while we're here, I'm just going to mention some notable ones that I see up here, more for time constraint purposes. But we have BioShock series. That is definitely something that I'm loving. The fact that a woman produced BioShock is one of the producers on the BioShock series. You have Tomb Raider, which is that was a game that my mom used to play when I was younger. That was the only time we wasn't around the PlayStation because my mom actually would play it for hours, and I was like, "Oh, so my mom is a little bit of a gamer. Ah, that's
Yeah.
that's just big." So we have City Skyliners. That's another one. It's a big one. But I saved the best for last because the pressure is on for me. But Animal Crossing New Horizon.
Mhm.
I play Animal Crossing New Horizon, dude. It's fun. I'm sorry. This is so like I can see why people will lose themselves and Animal Crossing big time. And I'm like, oh god, Animal Crossing is so addictive. Like,
Yeah.
I bet you anything if you actually asked like did like a poll of people on the street how they survived the pandemic, 5 out of 6
Animal
of them would say
Crossing.
Animal Crossing
Yes,
big
it
Yeah.
came
time.
out at the right time. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I
Mhm.
want to make a note about this because we got to speak about kind of the woman who kind of spearheaded this because
Mhm.
Aya Kyogoku is the one who pretty much directed the game. So at first she was
Okay.
hired as she was the first ever woman to direct a video game at Nintendo.
What?
At Nintendo Entertainment
Really?
Analysis and Development Group
Wow.
with Animal Crossing New Leaf. So I just want to like
Okay.
be specific. First woman to ever direct a video game at Nintendo Entertainment Analysis and Development Group. And that was on Animal Crossing New Leaf. And so she was a director there. And she made sure, along with the producer, that 50% of the team was at least female.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
So she made mad moves for women. So when it came time for New Horizons, which was years later, um, yeah, she obviously knocked out the park.
That's amazing.
Nice.
That's amazing.
I
I love
like
it. I bet
that.
she's definitely, giving back. She's giving back and paying forward at the same time. Yeah,
Yes.
that's great.
Yeah. So I that was actually my favorite. I was excited about Animal Crossing New. I haven't even got to play it. It's actually one of my favorite games, but I don't have a Switch. So I instead play Pocket Camp on my phone and it just suffices until I get a Switch whenever I decide to get one. But I'm definitely going to play it. But to know a game dear to my heart has this story of like a woman kind of trailblazing and making moves for other women. It makes me love Animal Crossing even more.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
I do want to say this real quick about these games that we have mentioned. Let's look at these games. I'm gonna just make this very, very brief. For some reason, and it's gonna sound like how it should sound for me. I feel love out of all these games. I feel like, can you feel that woman's touch out of all these games? Like, you look at the list of them. You think about Tomb Raider, how it gives you the thrill and how it gives you the adventure of a woman, and then you think of Portal, how it's an adventure of it feels like the mind to me. Portal feels like a mind-based game, like the Adventure of the Mind. Centipede, which actually, if you look at Worm, that was on a cell phone. Like it could
Right.
be
Right.
a rendition of that. You have Animal Crossing, who brings so much different type of love and that gives you that sense of adventure. But you can feel the love in this game. You can feel why you're patient with these games is
Hmm.
because there's
Yeah.
love created in these games, and it's from a woman's heart. And
Right.
regardless of how it went and how it was made, and all the hard times and all the hard conversations that needed to be had, you felt that love in these games, and that is the
Yeah.
most important part. BioShock 2. Let's not forget BioShock. Definitely one of them games that another game that had a lot of love in it. You playing this big character, and he was so like
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
instructive, and
But
so
what's funny about, I mean, there is still hard. I mean, I would say the dovetail, or not dovetail, but I guess get on your coattails with that,
mhm.
Mike, is that it's kind of you feel the heart. So in
Yes,
Yeah.
Bioshock 2, you are a big daddy, but you have a little sister with your particular
yep,
little sisters.
taking care.
Yeah.
Uncharted
Mhm.
series, yeah, you're an adventurer killing people, but you also the characters are the focus. That's everyone remembers Nathan
Yeah.
Drake and the character and the
Yep, remember
relationship
Nathan
with him
Drake.
and his
Yep.
eventual wife Elena and all. It's like it's all about the heart and the character. So
Mhm.
that's something that you can't. And even with Portal, Gladys is one of the most iconic villains of all time. So
Mhm.
these are things that really do. I completely agree. They really matter.
And
Yes.
I
All
have
right.
like two follow-up points really briefly because
Mhm.
one on Portal is that Portal is renowned as one of those games like if you've never played a game before, no matter what age, they actually recommend that you start with Portal to kind of
Mm,
immerse yourself into gaming.
okay.
So while it can be challenging, I think that it's something people can catch on to and it's supposed to be this kind of welcoming feeling type of video game. So that's one of the studies that was done about Portal. That people found that to be one of the best games for beginners. But I
Yeah.
do want to mention my second point that a lot of these women on this list, they worked on other really big titles. While they may not have been the lead, they were still
Mhm.
integral parts. Like I
Yeah.
mentioned before, like Left for Dead. But I think about stuff like Borderlands. Um, I actually have a list here of the games that these women worked on. So let me just look at it now so you guys can see. Even with like BioShock, like Alyssa Finley, she worked on Minecraft,
Mm,
Borderlands, The Walking
huge,
Dead,
huge.
um, like just games that kind of they're not all the same, but it just shows you like the reach that their talent goes. Like they don't work on like one type of game. They're able to produce lots of types of games.
Absolutely,
Nice.
absolutely.
That
It's creativity. That's what I love
it's
that.
Yeah.
creativity, it's diversity, it's character reach, because I feel like there's two different versions of you as a human being. You have the human being who lives their everyday life, and then you have the human being that sits up here and
Right.
learn how to do more. So I would say this, and I know it's a big, it's surprise to her, but Sadiqa is like that. Her reach goes in different directions, and this is
Oh.
just another woman showing her diversity. And honestly, like a lot of people that needs to really really know what she's like. Her brain does multiple many things, and even though she might be a part of an esports team, talk to her and see what else she's into, and you'll be very very much surprised to see how her brain expands further beyond that, and why y'all need to know more about Sadiqa Jones. So
Absolutely. We should add her on this list. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, add on the list. They definitely, you made
Let
the
me
list.
develop a game. I need to develop a game.
Yes, yes, you made the
Right
list.
on,
So
right on. That's
all
awesome.
right, so remember to follow all the link trees for Metro on their side. Make sure that you follow Blerd Approved Gaming's link tree. Sadiqa Metro,
Oh
what?
yeah.
Give her
So
a
yeah,
little
you
backstory.
can follow Metro all over the internet. Check us out on Twitter, of course, where you can speak with us right away at Metro Esports, and follow us on Instagram to keep up with our announcements. We have so many big things. I know we just announced our huge partnership with the YMCA, and we're expanding, y'all. So follow us on Instagram at Metro Esports US. You can also follow us on Facebook if you want the same announcements at Metro Esports, and join our Discord. There is a link on our link tree on metroesports.live. So definitely hit up the link tree to find us everywhere on the internet.
Nice, nice. And make sure that y'all follow Blood Approved Gaming on all things social media. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have YouTube, we have Twitch, we also have TikTok. Make sure that you follow us on all of those. Make sure that you link up with us for all gaming news, gaming highlights, clips,
Everything.
funniness, everything, everything. And there's
Actually, how
more
could
to
I
come in the
forget about
future.
Twitch? How could
Of
I
course.
possibly?
Twitch
I
on
have to
both.
talk about
Yeah, Twitch is
Twitch.
designed for gamers. Yeah.
Guys, we're
Yes.
live on Twitch right now. So Metro
Yes.
Esports live. And can I just brag about, what we're doing? So we have our Gears Women League.
Hmm.
It's every Saturday. And when I tell you that the league is doing so well, um, the like this past weekend we hit well over 290,000 views.
Damn,
That
Okay,
is that
like
is
I am
great numbers.
so
that's incredible.
Tell them about it.
proud of
Tell them about it.
everything that we're doing at Metro Esports. And there's like such a small team, so that's just a testament to how hard we and my coworkers, like how hard we're all working.
Yes, yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
Big
you. Yeah, we
congratulations.
Congratulations
hit
to
top
y'all.
40
Yes.
the week before last, top 40 most viewed on Twitch. So that's a huge accomplishment from, our little esports agency over here.
Listen,
I love it.
much respect to the esports agency, because y'all did y'all thing. I checked out y'all Gears tournament this weekend,
Yeah.
and
You
I
heard your
loved it.
music?
I
Heard your
heard my
music.
music. Yes, Mike Hennessy's music has been played. Yes,
Yeah, Mike's
yes.
music
I
is
feel
awesome. I've
so.
heard it before too. Yeah.
Listen, the fact that my music was playing, sometimes you just sit there and you're kind of just like in awe. But this isn't about me. This is about the women that is doing their thing in the Gears League, and they are killing it. And I really enjoy them, because I have no clue that I did not know that you could play Gear that good. Like, it's just a lot of dark power, dark power. I'm like, oh my god, do they use nothing but shotguns? Like, do we have actual guns that's being used? It's just shotgun mania in there. So I love I love it. They are doing their thing with that. So make sure we didn't make it the top, top people in Twitch. I think we about, Probably, I take honor in being the bottom 0.something%. You know, I take pride in that. You know, listen.
But we
Nah,
show up. But you
we
show
show
up.
up. We
That's
show
what
up.
matters.
We
Okay.
show up. We show up.
Yeah.
We're playing with our protagonists and destiny, and you know, we're heading to that. So, before we go to commercial break, we want to mention that we have selected a winner. Well, there will be a winner selected for the giveaway for the Nintendo Switch Lite. Tune into show pretty soon, if not next week. For the winner, we're going to do it live here on the Bag Show, powered by Metro. Make sure that y'all check it out. We'll be reaching out to everyone, so please, y'all stay tuned. Make sure that the ones who knows about what's going on right now, make sure that y'all are, keeping note. We're going to be reaching out to y'all very, very soon, and we'll be doing the picking live on the show. So, with that being said, we are going to head to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back to Back Show. What happened? Are we back? We back that fast? All right.
We're back at
it. Competition going crazy. Mass control of what you playing. Legal so you smashing. Metro Esports, yeah, we have it. Do you wanna learn for the best? Yeah. Coaches who will put you to the test. Yeah, come down and sharpen your skills. Drop it for night, Call of Duty, get kills. Yeah, NBA 2K, shoot your shot and make some plays. We got tournaments all day. Make some money, make it rain. Games is not all that we got. Learn you some coding and get yourself hot. Making new friends on the way to the top. Join the community, have you some fun. Metro Squad, repping the city of Philly with all that we got. Let's rock. Come down and join us and get yourself ready to drop. Join the community, have you some fun. Metro Squad, repping the city of Philly with all that we got. Let's rock. Come down and join us and get yourself ready to drop. League of Legends, or you smashing. Metro Esports, yeah, we have it.
Hey yo, it's your boy Lelouch V. I decided to hijack the show with my brother for a second. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to talk about a little bit of Elden Ring. Because it's time. Come on back, brother E.
Yo.
How you feeling, my brother? How you doing?
How am I feeling? You know how I'm feeling. I feel like I've got beaten by every boss possible while holding a whole bunch of different weapons after playing a game for 90 hours straight and refusing to go to the bathroom.
But so E, you are what, 50 hours into the game? Well, let's talk about your build a little bit. Like what you build, what you playing with. How you feeling, man?
Yes, sir. So about 50 hours in, I'm mad because I'm not more hours in. The build I went with is I start off essentially as what they call the Confessor. So it's kind of like a paladin build. I'm using like a quality paladin build. For those that don't speak FromSoft talk, quality build means you're putting points into your dexterity, so you can use weapons like swords that require better hand skills, and strength weapons that require beefier arms, essentially. So a combination of both, and then you can use magic too. Kind of basically covering all your bases in some form or another. But the beauty of having a build like that is you can also use bows, different types of bows for bow and arrows, which Otis loves to pieces. You can have, you're sturdy enough to wear different types of armor. You can rock different types of all kinds of swords. Last night, when you were sleeping happily next to the love of your life, I was kicking ass. I went out. I got a Scarlet Rotten knife. I had to go through this amazing, huge quest to get the Scarlet Rotten knife, and I took down this dude that made me look like a pancake on acid just a few days ago. I couldn't touch him. Using that knife, I went up against him, just touched him a couple times, and let him get poisoned all the way down to nothing. And that was the greatest. I cried tears of joy out of pure exuberance. I haven't been that happy since I watched Batman a few days ago. So it was great.
Yeah, we talked about that on the night a little bit, but I mean, staying on the game. You know me, Eve. I had to rock the bandit. I'm going honestly probably close to your build with the quality going towards dexterity, making sure I can move around quickly, get a lot of hits in. Knife is my main weapon, so I'm going to stick with those for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you've played you've gone through a lot of the actual story portions. How do you feel like the story progresses as it goes? Like, you feel like it's like going to slow down as you get bigger? Like, what you think about that, buddy?
It's funny you say slow down. No, it's the opposite of what you're saying out loud of your mouth. The game only gets bigger and greater. I'd mentioned before, for those who are familiar with Naruto, there's basically a Madara fight in this. For the first time in a FromSoft game, there's a Madara type fight. Don't give any spoilers about how if you know this fight and this character, this boss, you know what I mean by saying that as far as how it plays out. I'll leave it at that. And it's one of the most like overwhelming and intense, amazing things. And that comes in, it turns out that's a fairly early boss. I just recently dealt with that, but it's such an early boss that when I beat him, the game said, "Congratulations, you're 33% through the game." And I said, "What are you talking about?" So it progresses, but you're able to pace it you're able to take your own time with the pacing. Essentially, you're able to, if you hit a wall with a villain, a bad guy, boss, what have you, you can go out, farm resources, get beefier in other ways, and then come back to them. So you're able to kind of control the pace of the game for the first time in a FromSoft game.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I've realized of myself too, because we talk about this countless times, but me, I'm out the first maybe 2-3 hours of the game. I really spent hunting rabbits and deer and all of that, because you have to farm their materials to make your bow, your arrows for your bow.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, I watched you do that. Yeah,
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
But your experience can vary so heavily in this game, and I think that's what puts it a notch above any of the other FromSoft games in the franchise so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think it has any disadvantages towards what we've seen from Elden Ring, or what, how do you feel about it compared to the older games?
So the biggest disadvantage people have mentioned, which I can sympathize with, is because it is such a grand scale, large game, open world sandbox type of game, kind of similar to, more akin to Zelda Breath of the Wild recently.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have like specific markers telling you where to go. Even if you get a quest from somebody, they're like, "Hey, can you go find my daughter? She owes me money." It's like, "Where is she?" Like, I don't know. So it's very much like you're on your own with your amazing mount to just kind of traverse the world, so to speak, which can be fun, but also if you're pressed for time or trying to get things done, it can be overwhelming. Also, the idea too is if you do hit a wall against a boss and you think, "Well, I need to go find a way to get bigger," you may not know what to do. You may not know how to approach that, or if you want to get really good gear off the bat, you may not know where to go for that either. So that lack of knowledge inherently can be a disadvantage. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is one game where you're really gonna need some community help, like not necessarily for like actual help fighting some of the bosses, but knowing where certain things are, knowing how to make sure your build is where you want it to be. You're gonna have to do a whole lot of exploration, or you got to have somebody help. And luckily for me, you've been my help through this process.
That's where your boy comes in. That's where your boy comes in. I've been trying to get Otis East to play with me for a while. I know he's a busy man. He's very handsome, but I do want him to join up with me. We can go through it, because one of the things too about this game is there's so many points where you can bring in a friend or friends, have a squad, roll deep. We did this before with a buddy of ours, Stan, and actually do some stuff. And actually, if one person in your party does know what they're doing and where to go, it can really speed things up. There's a couple of spots I want to take Otis to get some gear ASAP, some knives and some actual his outfit really quickly. So
again, like with the way this game is set up, like the one deficiency I do feel like is with the multiplayer, though, just because we stream that too, like how difficult it was getting into the same game all together without anything crazy happening, and then having to know the specific spots where you can summon people from. Like that's a little bit of it's a learning curve to that, but I mean,
massive learning curve.
Once you know what to look for, it becomes easier. But I feel like they still need to find a way to make that a little bit smoother, like make that transition better. Like, like another game that you and me play heavily, Neo 2. They set it up with a lobby that you can essentially join in ahead of time with your friends and go straight into the mission raw from there.
Yeah.
I think that's a feasible thing for Elden Ring to try to approach. Like, even if it's just like, you know, in specific areas of the map, like you have everything, you know, barriered off or something like that. I think something along that line can really enhance the experience of the gaming.
Yeah, I agree. If there was some kind of like, there were like hub areas where you knew of, and oftentimes in MMORPGs they have hub areas essentially, and even Monster Hunter or whatnot. If you're able to just essentially hook up or link up with the team there, and then you can kind of like the team leader can kind of choose a place to go, a point to go, and you just all roll out from that spot. Or as Sadiqa says, you can Leroy Jenkins wherever you want to go from there. But I think another thing too is that you can't, the game itself, I think they call it the land in between is the actual area, like the whole overall surface map. That's not the specific dungeons or castles or whatnot. That's a very vast area. And when you're with your partners, you cannot traverse on a mount. You have to walk on foot. And it can take a long time walking from area to area on foot. So like, even when we were trying to get a stand, and we were trying to get him a knife that you had. It was that blood tinge knife essentially. To get from where we summoned together down underneath the bridge, past a literal dragon.
What was it? Waypoint. What was it?
Waypoint
ruins.
It's kind of on the nose there. It took us, I don't know how many tries, on how long to do it, and then also I'd say a good 5 hours of my gameplay was with you trying to figure out how to get the actual co-op to work. So those things, of course, can be refined. I agree.
Now, if I know you still, you know, relatively early in the game, E. If you had to give it a scale out of 10 on what you've played so far, even if you're comparing it to, like, you know, like the other FromSoft games, where would you put it?
Sure. If I had to, I would say 10. I would say 10. What are we talking about here? Otis, you've met me before. Yeah, I would say 10. Come on.
Yeah. What gives it the hard on 10 for you? I had to make sure I phrase that right for you.
Yeah, fair enough. You're a good man. I would say it's a couple of different things. One, you know how much I love buddy cops. So the fact that you actually can roll with a squad to actually take on so many different things, because once you figure it out, you can do is almost set up that every single boss and just about all the big heavy encounters, you can roll with the team. I've hooked up with other people I don't even know yet to do that several times. I met Blerds through our chats to do that with too, and it makes a lot of fun. Also, there's so much Otis, you have no idea how much gear there is. There's just the overwhelming amount of armor you can wear, the different types of blades and weapons you can craft. You can actually craft your own items and stuff, and it's if you played other FromSoft games or other RPGs, they pale in comparison. And I'm still very early relatively early in the game. So it's all those things, and also as many bosses as you fight, there's still so many. They don't repeat themselves. There's always new types of bosses coming at you. Earlier, Mike and Sadiq were talking about Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy was infamous for having summons. This game actually has summons. They're like ghost apparitions, but they're legit summons, and they can change the game up, and you can level them up. So I could gush about this for another hour and a half. I won't. But I could gush about this for another hour and a half. There's so many things. Did I mention that I give it a 10 out of 10?
Yeah, you did. You did mention it was a 10 out of 10. Honestly, E, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Know, I'm a little bit harder on grading things just because, you know, I'm me. But yeah, man, it's 9.5. I can't give it a 10. It's a 9.5 only because of how hard it is to play with your friends early on. Yeah. Like, they have to do something to simplify that process, to streamline it down. But other than that, the game is perfect. You get the exploration of like a Skyrim. You get the difficulty of the Soulsborne series. You get, you know, just the complexity of the maps, like how big some of those castles are. It's shot like there's cities smaller than some of those castles. Like, not a joke.
Literally, yeah. You haven't seen the big. Yeah, there's one. I don't know if it's the biggest one, but there's one that comes later on. That is a giant city castle. It's like the size of Castlevania, the entire game of Castlevania, and it's one city castle that you deal with. It's massive. It's massive. I do want you to re-rate the game after you've had that matter of fight, though. Once you've done that matter of fight, let me know what you think.
Yeah, we'll probably knock it out this weekend. Now, I know this is a game where you're gonna. Are you planning on doing like new game pluses here? Are you planning on building another character? Like, what is the reoccurring thing that you would that brings you back to Elden Ring, if there is a thing? Anyway.
Yeah, it definitely will be. I played like I played other Dark Soul games like once or twice. I played Bloodborne. I played that's my favorite game of all time. I played that like I think 8 or 9 times, and I got to a run where I was able to get through the entire run only down like 7 times. I'll play this because I want to try different builds. There's so many different types of builds. I can't use a lot of like the super high class magic with my build because there's so many different types of stats. You have to have a stat for there's a stat for intelligence, which is different than faith, and it's a different types of series of spells that you use.
Faith, intelligence, and mind, and arcane, right? Like all of those.
Mind, and mind is used to actually gauge how much FP magic power you have. So that's another stat as well. And then arcane is like actually for how skillful you are with certain magics. So all those different stats, and you only have a certain amount of points. You really can't go super hardcore ham on one run. You have to kind of say, I'm gonna do this type of thing. I do want to use another build where I probably will be primarily dex, because there's a samurai sword called the Moon Veil where when you sweep with it, it goes full anime, like the art of Sword Art Online, where you do like a blood, it does blood tinge damage or blood damage, but also it's magic. So I want to use a dex magic build next, probably.
So, bottom line, this is your game right now. This is what you playing the most. So you leaving me behind in in Destiny, bro. You're not playing Destiny with me anymore.
I'll of course I'll join you back for Destiny. I apologize for my departure, but I'll confess I kind of sort of blew off a date for this game, and I regret nothing. I think I told her I was sick or something. I don't know. I told her, but I blew her off, and I regret nothing. I regret nothing. I may die alone. I probably will die alone, but I'll die happy with Elden Ring.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like that's a decent little transition over to our next thing. But I'm gonna send it over to the next video first. We're gonna talk about some Destiny. Yeah, I think. Probably.
Intentions aside, Savathun is solely responsible for her own ruin. If only we'd known the flood she was holding back. These things don't see themselves as gods, no. They believe themselves so much more than that. And yet, with all that power, it was wielders of light and dark, saviors of humanity, who brought them down. Regardless of victory, we must remember that was only a taste of success, barely achieved. There will be more, and the power they hold will pale in comparison to that of their maker, the Witness. We must now face an inevitable truth. The Witness and its followers, they're coming. All of them. And when they get here, we'll finish what they started.
All right, so as we start off this listen, I'm gonna just say this right now. It's one of my favorite things out right now. I know you guys are Elden Ringed up. It's all good. You know, you Elden Ringed up. You blew a date off for Elden Ring. Okay, got you.
I didn't blow it off.
No, not you.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying. Yeah.
That's why he's still here. You know, like, listen, it's okay. But no, let's get to it. So, Savathun and the new Witch Queen storyline, as you can see from back when we first started the show, it was just questions. How was it going to be? What was going to happen? We knew certain things, certain stories and stuff like that. But I had never witnessed that this was going to pretty much be my favorite storyline of Destiny, period. I love the Beyond Light storyline.
Bro, I gotta correct you, man. It's not your favorite. It's the best. Favorite. Yes, it is the best. Yes. The best thing that Destiny's put out, period. Going all the way back to D1 to coming to now. I'm sitting back to my
can I ask y'all what? I mean, we're going to get into this, but why would you say it is your favorite? It's the best, objectively the best.
So I have a thing for video games and thrills and what it does for you and how it gauges you in. It's the smartest storyline I've seen in a very long time. It's very intelligent. It's a very intelligent storyline. What they did was take their time and literally explaining Savathun and her creativity to do what she's doing. I think anybody in their right mind know this is what makes it smart. Is the people who've been playing it for a long time realize you're not done with her by a long shot. You're not done with her because she's put you through these things now that are just over the top. Why are you doing this? Like, what is you learn as time goes on? It's almost like she's giving you what it is like she wrote her book and letting you read it while she knows you're reading it. She knows you're sitting there reading it. Oh, you found that part of my story? Cool. I'm gonna watch it with you while you sit here. I'm gonna just sit here and watch it with you. Okay, you learned that, didn't you? Yeah. Oh, you see that I built a whole underground building for myself for years. I've been building this thing for years, back when I was a little skinny mini to now where I'm at now. She lets you sit there and do all these things. Savathun ain't playing no games. And as we talk about women in gaming, we're talking about women characters now in gaming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Women, I know this is women overall, but of course, women in characters, and this character in particular, I think she's probably my top 5 all-time women character villain. We'll say villain, but women villain.
You mean in games overall, or just
games overall?
Okay.
To me, she's top 5 all time because of what she's doing, because of the party that she's bringing to you. She brought the light to the dance in a negative way. She brought the enemies to the dance in a negative way. She brought the raid in a negative way, because this raid, even though people have beaten this raid, I guarantee you they're saying that that's one of their favorite raids of all time.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. Nice.
So, Otis, I'm going to let you take wind on this one a little bit because you played a little bit more in it. But I'm going to tell you this now. For me and my thrills, this is why I say I have TikToks that got banned because of the language barrier of me being scared half to death because I had the headphones booming in my ear. And that's how I play games like this. I had the headphones so loud in my ear. I think there's a part, real quick. I'm going to say this real quick. There's a part that I went in there and you had to go to the statue and figure out something. You had to find this little piece, this crystal piece. But it was a piece of a worm. And I'm like, okay. I walk over to the worm, and it's this talking going on. And whatever little language they have, this little, hellish language, or whatever you ever want to call it. So I'm sitting back like, okay. And then the light, you boom, and then in this big worm from my TV, and it's huge, and this big worm come flying through, and you can hear all the growling and the noise. I just start snapping because I felt the fear in my body. I would have been a scary guardian at that point. Like I didn't know how to hit this thing. I didn't know what I was doing. It just, I was scared half to death. So, Otis, you got the
I will start from that scene that you were talking about. When the Ahamkara comes in through that, like. Yes. So I was so excited for that scene just because, like. The Ahamkara have been, not even just that, but like the Ahamkara have been mentioned throughout the Destiny lore since the first one. There are a couple exotics called the something of Ahamkara. You got the skull of Ahamkara, you got the spine of Ahamkara, you got, so finally getting to see one on screen come through like that when I wasn't even expecting it, that was a huge moment for me. And I gotta actually agree with Mike talking about just prepping up on Savathun, because not only is her plan, like you see the breadcrumbs of her plan for a couple of years if you go back and look at the lore for this Destiny, but actually seeing it in action, like this is legit the most difficult story that they've put out. Period. You've played with me and Stan in some of the legendary missions.
Yeah. Yes.
Tough.
Yeah. Very tough.
So not only is it challenging, it is engaging, because you can have moments where I haven't been scared by a shooter ever. There's never been So for that to come in and just take you out like that is amazingly done. Savathun's, like her monologues are top tier every time. Like every time she's just saying like, "Oh, you just so calmly just killed something that's just like yourself." Like, when you had to first
how do you feel killing?
Like,
oh my gosh,
she killed it. She has been killing it this entire season, and they're continuing to put out more and more content. We got the raid that just came out this past weekend that everybody we were just talking about that. Like, I want more. Like, it's been a rare experience where I'm just looking at a villain in a video game. I'm just like, bring me more of that. I don't want to kill you yet. Like,
No.
But
Yeah,
in a game like that,
because y'all talking about storytelling, and y'all both know this. One of the benchmarks of good storytelling is having a good, compelling villain. Yeah, because the whole idea of an antagonist is they're the ones who are supposed to cause change in a sense. So it sounds like Savathûn is doing that. So
she's doing her job.
Yeah,
she's doing her job. I know you want to say something else. I want to add something to that too. Let's look at this, Otis. I want to know something what you think about this, right? They think we got a taste of the next 3.0 arc ability because there's a fight you have with Savathûn where you're throwing spears at her. You're chucking spears at her, and that's the only way you can damage her. You can't damage her regularly because it's like that's what I'm talking about in games. Like, when you make a villain hard, don't make me just break a barrier because I got a gun. It's like, no, you got to do more to do something to me. And while you're doing it, it's almost like she's just seeing it. Because in a hindsight of the story, she has been there the whole entire time. Because of Ikora. Thank you, Ikora, but you made a little bit of a mistake. That was a calculated mistake.
She slipped up.
You slipped up, and you're usually on point with everything. But having Savathûn there the whole entire time and living through what is his name?
Osiris.
I'm thinking orcs, but Osiris, living through him the whole entire time, he was her eyes. So she got to see how the light was wielded. She was there through important meetings. She was there through everything because you know what it was? Savathûn you didn't understand her. You didn't know nothing about her. And in hindsight, you thought she was your friend. But she was just there to kind of be a pawn to the situation. So it's a big mistake on their end, which a mistake eventually later on down the line is going to get fixed. But now that you did what you did, you're not just about to fight Savathûn, in my personal opinion. I think you're going to wind up fighting now her sister. She's on her way too. And when she come through, you got to think. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they brought Master Chief back to help out with this situation because that's how real it's getting. Like, I mean, it's getting that real right now, and it's like you as just a single old guardian. I know that the story really is based around one guardian, but it's time to now for all of Guardians in there. If I'm doing something, I'm sitting back and I'm saying all Guardians at attention at this point. I don't care what you are, all Guardians at attention because we made a mistake and she cooking us right now. She is cooking us and she's really playing around with us, and that is the biggest thing about it all is that she really is,
All right.
Yeah. So
I mean, hearing that ad right there, that was the most compelling advertisement I've ever heard for anything. And I'm old as dirt. I've heard lots of advertisements. So I'm very early in the game and in the campaign. I've only played with Stan and Otis, I think, for the first 3 missions, maybe. So I definitely, I love the game. It's a great game. I just haven't had time to get obsessed with both just yet. But I'll definitely revisit it, of course.
Of course, because you're busy Elden Ringing it up, you know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you're stabbing little wolves and try not to get hit by a big 6'10" guy on a horse. So
try not to.
You don't understand the stress trigger that you just put out by talking about him. Oh my god! Oh my god!
What's more stressful though? Is it Destiny 2? Because Destiny 2, the legendary campaign, a legendary level. I mean, those were hard. We died a lot. Or Elden Ring. I don't know.
Honestly, and you know how much I love Elden Ring, but I think the Destiny Legendary Edition is harder because you saw how we had a full 3 that we jumped in with from jump, and we struggled through that a couple times, bro.
Yeah, not stuff.
When we get together in Elden Ring, we usually crush it. Like we might get hit a couple times, trying to figure out the pattern, but we get through that pretty quick. But
so we definitely I say this, everyone who is watching this right now, understand that we have 2 major games we have one game that's been out for years and we have another one that just came out that are really, really crushing it out here. We appreciate the fact that the gaming industry is getting better and better every single day, bringing in these great games. Elden Ring, or producers and people and developers at that. We appreciate you for releasing a great game. And all the games you all have ever done with the Bloodborns and everything like that. All the games that y'all have brought out. Definitely keep doing y'all thing. And shouts out to the people at Bungie that's doing their thing. That's bringing us these great stories. That's bringing Destiny back, because Destiny has, of course, people how they was feeling about it before, and now that they split from the previous company, they got full control of it, and they out here doing their thing. So shouts out to those two companies out here doing their thing and making magic happen. So
absolutely. I mean, it's
that,
been just to dovetail off of that, Mike. It's kind of been a 2022 in a way has been a year of renewal, resurrection, because we had what you mentioned, everything you just mentioned just there with Bungie and with D1 going to D2, and how D2 has kind of evolved and become resurrection there. Also, even with like the Batman, which just came out recently, how that movie was like resurrected the Batman franchise in a way too. I mean, 2022 as far as coming out of the pandemic. So it's a lot of things to kind of be thankful for. It's a good time to be a nerd, a good time to be celebrating lots of things.
And we will talk about the Batman. But Otis, last words before we go to commercial break.
Yeah, actually, I want to give the last words to Brother E. Can you let the people know where to find you? Because I mean, you've been great on here today.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely,
Thank you so
absolutely. If you are in fact a Blerd or just friends with Blerds, fans of Blerds, and you want to have a comic book made, or interested in making a comic book, or interested in talking about stories, please feel free to hit me up at Echelon G Novels. I should have written it down. I don't think I did. It's spelled ECHELONG Novels.com. Hit me up there. That's my website. Let me know if you want to talk comics, want to buy our comics, anything and everything. There you go. My man got me.
Look at that. All on the screen for y'all to, make sure that y'all check them out. Make sure y'all looking for them on the Then and Now podcast.
Yes. And thank you very much for your time. As always, Mike, it's good to see you.
Of course, man.
Way much bigger than me. It's insulting, but it's always good to see
you. All right. So with that being said, we'll be right back. Quick commercial break. Join us later with the Back Show.
Excited to announce a new league is coming to Gears of War. Introducing.
Esto se puede complicar aún más. Están peleando lo último.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week number 1 of the Metro Esports Gears of War Women's League. I'm Blaze, joined with the team.
All right. We are back with the Back Show, and we are ready to get into our last segment, which is the games of the week. So can we get that up on the screen real quick? All right, with these games of the week, we have a nice death. I haven't checked that out, but I'm guessing it's pretty good. We got Core Keeper stream early access on PC exclusive. Chocobo GP. I did look about that. That is a racing game that is based off of the Chocobos that's in the Final Fantasy series. They probably appear in other series too, but it's for the Switch. So, check that out. Maybe it's something that I might go look into. Maybe I might get it for myself. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think I'll probably grab that one. That's fun. If you can race against each other on Chocobos, we have to stream that for sure.
That'll be pretty fire. Otis, I'm gonna let you take the last 3, and then I'll finish off with WWE, and let's go into that.
Yeah. Next up, we got Submerged Hidden Depths. That's coming to the PC, PS4, PS5. That's open on March 10th. I actually don't know what that is, so I'm gonna have to look that up to get back to you guys on that.
Right.
No Place Like Home on the PC. I don't think I've heard it. I'm a console gamer, so PC games kind of go under the radar for me sometimes. Aztec for Forgotten Gods, that's coming out on PC and PS4, and that's coming on March 10th as well. So got some good games coming to you guys this week. They coming. And then of course the last one, let my brother over here.
Hey, so we are here at one of the greatest I would say greatest games of our generation, even though they have had their mishaps and everything. It's still one of my favorites. The reason why I'm going on to this is because it's WWE 2K22, and it's for PC, PlayStation, all PlayStation platforms, all the Xbox platforms. One of the biggest reasons why I'm so heavy into this is because I'm sorry, WWE 2K22 and all the WWE series overall is a very big staple in people's lives. You had games back in the day like WrestleMania 2000, WrestleMania the arcade game, WWE Royal Rumble on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. You have Monday
SmackDown
Night
versus
Raw,
Raw.
SmackDown versus Raw.
Oh man.
SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. You know, you had the GameCube series. Don't forget about those. Those GameCube series was the truth. You had I forgot what some of the GameCube series were called, but they were named after a pay per view. I know that. But those series, all of those are a big staple in our lives, and WWE is still here. They still running these games. They're still playing them, and from what I'm hearing, this is one of their better ones right now. I don't know if it's buggy per se, but we will, I guess how can I say it's about WWE? It's more or less like one of those games where you can get the group together, create your own create your own player, create entrances, live your iconic moments through your favorite characters, change them up, make them how you want it to be, create dream matches in these games, have some fun, and align yourselves. Like I said, back then when I was younger, it was WrestleMania 2000. It was No Mercies. It was WCW Nitro. It was that of WWF Attitude. But they have been here for so long, and it's good to see that they're still here doing their thing with these games. There's a lot of classic wrestlers. There's a lot of new wrestlers. A lot of things to get used to in these games. So, we definitely, I say WWE is the biggest game out for me this week. But let's get to Aztec Forgotten Gods. It is a female protagonist in this game. She is the main character. Looks like she's I would say, I don't know if she's black, but she's definitely
Melanated. She's she
yeah,
got some pigment, you know what I'm saying?
she's definitely, doing something. She got a big fist, and I see her knocking some people down. Like, so I'm definitely going to probably look a little bit of gameplay from this once we're done here, so I can see how this character is. I'm loving it. She kind of reminds me of like how Zelda makes their characters. So she looks kind of like oh my gosh, I forgot their names. It's a part of Ganondorf's peoples. Like Ganondorf's peoples are like this, like their characters like are very strong featured.
Yeah, the
They
Gerudo,
don't play the
Gerudo, yeah.
Gerudos, yeah. They don't play. They don't play no games. But I don't know if he's very Aztec like to me. If you really think about it, he's very Aztec like. So it's like I can see how this character is it looks like that, but she looks like she kicks behind, and I'm excited about her. Let's give a good look at this game in particular and see what it has to offer, because it might be something that might be for the future of gaming, especially with female protagonists, because that we need more of. So with that, everyone, that is our games of the week. That's our games of the week. But as we feel great to finish out the show, Otis, how are you feeling? How's the game scene looking for you? Like
It's hectic, man. Like February hit hard. February hit hard, man, because like you got Horizon, then you got
forgot about Horizon.
You got what is it? Sifu. Like you got, of course, Destiny and Elden Ring. Was like you don't want me to have a social life. And then this is the beginning of the year. We still have the whole rest of the year to talk about, but we're already talking about potential game of the year candidates in February, like just from the months of February. So.
And it's literally, you still got a whole year left. We don't even know what's coming out. We don't know if Nintendo going to surprise everybody and bring Zelda out just to go ahead and be.
I mean, they did announce Scarlet and Violet for Pokemon, and I'm hyped for that. I'm hyped for that.
Scarlet and Violet. Yep. Did y'all see them new Pokemon? Like, don't listen. It's going to be fun. I know people have been making a lot of memes for it.
The duck memes are legendary, bro. The duck memes are amazing.
The memes for Pokemon is too funny. It is too darn funny. So, with that being said, like I said, it's just more games to come. There's so much going on right now in the world of everything. We're preparing for a lot of stuff, a lot of things that are going to be happening. like in the next couple days, get ready for something special. We have something coming to y'all, but we'll let y'all know pretty soon, because you never know when it's going to pop up. It could happen Friday, it could happen Saturday, you never know. So just a reminder for everybody, the ones who are watching, please remember that we're announcing the Switch Lite winner. Most likely next week we're going to be announcing it. We're going to do it live here on the show itself, so please tune into the Bag Show next week. We're going to announce the winner, so we're going to reach out to everyone who has entered. Everyone is entered the contest will get a notification from us, so please if you get a chance, watch the show, pay attention to the show, wait for the Switch Lite winner, and then we'll be contacting you right after that. But with that being said, make sure that you follow everything Blerd Approved Gaming. Make sure that you follow everything Metro. We are here. Otis, where can we find you at this week? Where it look like for you this week, brother?
I mean, as always, dude, you're gonna find me on Friday nights about 9 p.m. to play some Crucible. Our partners at Metro Esports, I'll be on their Twitch. I'll be live on the Blerd Approved Entertainment YouTube, Blerd Approved Entertainment Facebook. Same thing with Metro Esports Facebook. We're gonna be everywhere. Just look for Metro Esports. Look for Blerd Approved Gaming. You're gonna find us, and you're gonna beat some butt on stream for y'all. We're gonna have some fun.
Nice. We're gonna definitely have some fun with that. Try to get a nice little lineup going, create some excitement, get ready for it. We need. You gotta have that little bit of competitive nature,
Oh yeah,
just a little bit, not too much. Just
no.
Of Destiny, everybody is going to learn how to play it. We're going to try to get some real good professional gameplay going on where you don't see a lot of Guardian downs happening.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we got some wins. We've been getting some wins now. The slow process of the boot camp getting everybody ready has been working because Cardi's looking way better. Shout out to
Cardi. The Cardi experience, he's joining us soon with that one. He's been really regular with us, so Cardi experience, definitely look out for him. Everybody that's going to join up, have some fun, power up, level up, stream up, do it all. So we're going
to get that skill up too.
Hey, that's how you do it. You got to be creative when it comes to Destiny. So this is not the game that's a faithful heart. You can't go in here and just think that you're just going to fire a gun and you're going to do good at it. No, you got to get into it. Yeah, got to get into it. So what it's looking like for me possibly this week, I'll possibly throw a stream up there. I'm going to have some guys going to play some fun games. Probably play Mario Kart or maybe Mario Party or maybe something like Among Us. We never know what's going to actually happen, but look out for that this week. The notification will be going out to everybody. So probably play a couple of games, whatever the case is. So as I'm seeing from the backstage, Pokemon Unite. Sounds like a fun game too. Let's go with that. So we might get more and more people in that. So look out for the stream this week. We're definitely going to get some things going. And with that being said, check out the Bag Show every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Check us out every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Make sure that y'all watch the Crucible Friday at 9 p.m.
Yep, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Friday at 9 p.m. I just wanted him to confirm with me. That's all it is. So make sure y'all follow everything we got going on. So with that being said, we are down. We will see y'all next Tuesday.
Get you a bag of Blerd Approved Gaming. Get you a
sir.
bag.
Competition going crazy. Master controller, what you playing? Legal, so you smashing. Metro Esports, yeah, we have it. Do you wanna learn for the best? Yeah. Coaches who will put you to the test. Yeah, come down and sharpen your skills. Drop it for night, Call of Duty, get kills. Yeah, NBA 2K, shoot your shot and make some plays. We got tournaments all day, make some money, make it rain. Games is not all that we got. Learn you some coding and get yourself taught. Making new friends on the way to the top. Join the community, have you some fun. Metro Squad, repping the city of Philly with all that we got. Let's rock. Come down to Jones and get yourself ready to drop. Join the community, have you some fun. Metro Squad, repping the city of Philly with all that we got. Let's rock. Come down to Jonas and get yourself ready to drop.